The trips to Second and Charles were very fruitful, so I'll talk about that and much more here on this haul video, so stay tuned to find out more. Hey guys, it's Mandak coming at you here with another haul video here. So welcome into haul video 161, guys. So as I mentioned at the top of this haul video, a couple of trips here to Second and Charles here in the month of July, and I guess later in June as well. So I'll kind of talk about those two here. And then I've also bought a lot of Lego sets recently. We're getting into the time of the year where we're kind of transitioning into the fall sets, so there's a lot of sales going on right now, and I'm sure we're going to get one more push of sales like in October, November time frame for like the holidays and stuff. So definitely capitalized on some. I just definitely missed out on some too, which I'll kind of explain in my Lego section here, so that will be a little bit longer for once. But yeah, otherwise, hope you guys are having a great day, week, month, and year. And as always, let's go ahead and get started with this haul video, starting with the comics. Alright guys, so welcome into this comic haul here. So like I said before, I have a bunch of stuff to show off, but before I get into that, just want to provide a brief overview of what I've been reading. So as I mentioned in my last haul, I kind of split up kind of what I've been reading because it has been a lot. So this section turned out to be a lot longer and more stuff, just because I kind of waited to make this haul video a little bit longer than I was planning to, for a couple reasons. But regardless, I'll go through what I've been reading. So first series of books I've been reading is Descender by Jeff Lemire and John Wynn, I want to say, or Dustin Wynn, that's right. So I read that, very much enjoyed that. I read that when I was actually on my trip in Brazil. So I was reading some Captain America stuff on my iPad, and I was also reading Descender. So I got that all read and finished up before the end of my trip, which was really nice. I didn't write on here either, but I also did read Ascender, which is the sequel to Descender. So basically Descender is about this story. It's like kind of like a sci-fi story that involves this one robot, which the name is escaping me. I think it's Tom. I could be wrong there, but it's a robot that like becomes sentient and like fights alongside these humans, and these robots trying to take over. And then you find out that like the gods of this like world were actual robots. So definitely not the best of Jeff Lemire's stuff. Like I said before, his work isn't really the best when it's like sci-fi ethereal stuff. So this is very much like that. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, Dustin Wynn's art is very nice. Same thing in Ascender. So Ascender actually follows the storyline of one of the main character's daughters who goes searching for the robot, who I think his name is Tom, but I could be wrong. I can't remember what his name is. It's Tim. I think it's Tim. Could be wrong on that too, but that's what I think it is. But like I said, if you're a Jeff Lemire fan, I think it's worth reading. There's a compendium out for it right now, I think, either both for Descender and Ascender. I hope one day they just make like one compendium for like the two series together, since they're basically like sister series. So we'll see if that happens, but overall, very nice. I think I'm gonna keep those in my collection for now, but I may be selling them at some point, who knows. So the next book I read here, so as I mentioned, while I was in Brazil, I also read some Captain America stuff, so continuing my readathon through there. So I read Twilight's Last Gleaming, which is after the Fighting Chance Epic Collection, and this is very much some not good stuff here. This is like the last Grunwald epic, which has Captain America like basically dying from the super soldier serum. Like it basically makes him an old man and like paralyzes him, so he wears like this like Iron Man armor for a little bit, which is kind of cool in some of the issues. And then eventually he just dies and disappears, and his body disappears, kind of like Obi-Wan Kenobi in Star Wars. So that was a little weird, but overall I thought it was pretty interesting. I mean, it's 90s stuff. You know, there's a lot of other heroes like Jack Flag and fighting, I forget what her name is. It's like a female, I forget what, Fighting Liberty or something like that, or I forget what her name is. But anyways, you know, a lot of interesting characters, and kind of just ends Grunwald's run with a little bit of a thud, so that's kind of disappointing. But I thought the last issue when he died was actually kind of interesting, and I do remember reading that on a Crackle Comics episode one time with my friends, so that was, I thought that was a pretty decent send-off for Grunwald and his run, which is legendary. I mean, it spans over 100 issues, so so there's that. The next epic, and the last one I read of all of my epics for Captain America, was Man Without a Country. So this is the initial Mark Waid run on Captain America. So, you know, they kind of explain how he comes back to life. And yeah, Sharon Carter comes back after being gone for God knows how long, like 20 plus years maybe at this point. That's like the only Captain America stuff I haven't read yet, is like her death. Like that's the only epic that hasn't been, I think, released yet. So once that does get released, I'll have to definitely track it down and buy it and go back, you know, 30 plus years and read that. But yeah, she shows up. You know, she's actually not dead. She's been like working covertly in her deathless stage by S.H.I.E.L.D. and you know, we get the rekindling of their romance, and you know, all these other characters, you know, Bernie and Diamondback, all of them just basically disappear from the book. So it's pretty much just like more S.H.I.E.L.D., Nick Fury, Sharon Carter, like Dum Dum Dugan based stuff here with Waid, which I think is good. You know, we get the Red Skull. It turns out the Red Skull was the one who revived Captain America, so there's that whole storyline there with that, and how he's, you know, because of that, he's considered a traitor to the country, so he has to prove himself there. So that's kind of why this epic's called Man Without a Country, because there's a whole storyline where like Cap is basically like extradited from this country? I think that's the right word. But yeah, so that's that. So that was a pretty good epic collection. You know, obviously it's kind of towards the tail end of like the 90s, so the art is definitely taking a front seat to the writing, but the writing was very excellent as well. And currently, you know, I'm making my way through more of the stuff there, but after that, I did read the 3 Marvel Premiere Classics that also had Waid's run. So the first one I read was To Serve and Protect. So that one kind of had the intro. I think there's a storyline there where Cap loses his shield, so that was pretty cool. You know, that's how he kind of gets like the laser shield in the Heroes Reborn era. Oh, I'm sorry, Heroes Return, excuse me, not Heroes Reborn. I skipped that era completely for Cap. No thank you. And then the next Marvel Premiere Classic I read was The American Nightmare. So that was kind of a storyline where like all of these, like everyone basically went crazy and started like attacking each other and going nuts. So that was an interesting storyline there. And then Red Glare kind of ends with like this whole battle between the Red Skull, Captain America, and I think Kang the Conqueror. So that's kind of interesting that Kang shows up. But yeah, Red Skull, there's apparently an issue in there, like the first issue in this collection, American Nightmare, has like it's a story of like Red Skull's like origin, I guess. And in the back of this Marvel Premiere Classic, there's actually a version of that issue that actually had to get rewritten because there were certain things shown and certain things written that were just not appropriate. Again, a lot of this is because of Red Skull's upbringing, you know, as a Nazi, right, and kind of breaking away from all that and start his own division with Hydra and all that stuff. So, yeah, that was very interesting to read, but came to a very satisfying conclusion there. And currently, I'm actually reading the Dan Jurgens Captain America omnibus. Really much enjoying that. There was like a 3 or 4 issue gap between the end of that last Marvel Premiere Classic and the omnibus. I just decided to skip through it because I didn't think it would be that consequential. I'm sure that 4 issue series was just like a tie over to Dan Jurgens' run. But yeah, very much enjoying it. You know, in the beginning, Adam Kubert is doing a lot of the drawing, and then some other artists come in, and then I'm at the point now where Dan Jurgens is writing and scripting the book, and Bob Layton is doing the inking work. So interesting combo. Obviously, I'm a big fan of Bob Layton because of his work with Iron Man. But yeah, overall, I think it's good so far. I'm like 2/3 of the way through, so been very much enjoying it. It's nice because I'm basically reading like one of those issues every 10 minutes, so it's a very quick read. So very much enjoying that, and hopefully I can finish that soon. I also picked a couple books here that I'm looking to probably sell, you know, just to thin out my collection. As I'll show you here with this haul, I have a lot of stuff I've bought recently, so with that I always take time to go through my collection and take out books that I've already read or things that I want to read and just sell. So some of those books, one of them's Fury Peacemaker. So I bought this book maybe a year ago. It's just like a small series about kind of Fury's, like it's like an origin story with Fury back in World War II. So if you're into that, this is the book for you. It's written by Garth Ennis. I wasn't really a big fan of it. I felt like there was a lot of different things going on and just felt very convoluted to me. So didn't really enjoy reading that much. Also read some other miniseries here. So read U.S. Agent, American Zealot. So that was a miniseries that came out around the same time as the Falcon and Winter Soldier show came out in 2021. So got to read that. You know, kind of explores John Walker's like kind of traumatic backstory. So I thought that was interesting, but obviously the character that's in this book is very much not the one that I know from Grunwald's run. And, you know, I guess some of that you can attribute to the fact that it's like 40 years later. So it's probably not the same characterization, but yeah, I just wasn't a big fan of it. I think it was more trying to be like a tie-in to the show, you know, because Marvel, DC, everyone's guilty of it. When they're releasing shows, they try to pump out like a mini-series with the same characters just to get people involved and get people into comics and be like, oh, this character's in this show that I like, well, let me go read a comic about them. So that's really what I thought this was at its base here. It's funny, before I found Marvel Unlimited, or before I started using Marvel Unlimited, this was the book that I like now would definitely not spend money on to read. I would have definitely just read it on the app just to have that, not purchase it, keep on my shelf. I'm trying to thin out like a lot of those smaller miniseries in my collection here, just because like I don't see really a need to keep them because I can just read them on the app. So there's that. Also read Wasp: Small Worlds. That book was interesting. It had Janet Van Dyne, it had Nadia Van Dyne as kind of like the two main characters, and they were fighting against the monster from Tales of Astonish that actually killed Janet's dad. So he came back and they had to like team up to take him down, which I thought was a really cool tie-in to her origins, you know, because obviously in that issue her father passes away, and that's what kind of inspires her to seek out Hank Pym and to thus become the Wasp and then team up with Ant-Man to take down this I think his name is Cosmos. I think it's Kosmos, I think is the name of the monster. It's like a green monster. So I thought that was interesting. I definitely, when both these books, it's Wasp Small Worlds and Ant-Man Antiversary. They both came out, I think, around the time that Quantumania was coming out, or like either shortly after or right before it. I definitely preferred Antiversary over this Wasp story, just because it kind of involved like all the different Ant-Men, I guess. Scott Lang, Hank, and Eric O'Grady. So I thought that was a really cool like tie-in to see all those. Obviously, there's only been like 2 people that have played the Wasp, so I guess you can't really do much with that. But yeah, overall, I thought it was pretty decent. If you're a Wasp fan, definitely worth checking out, I guess. And currently, finally up to present day here, I'm currently reading through Poe Dameron. So this is another series that I have on my shelf, and I'm like, I'll just read this and I'll sell the paperbacks to somebody who will enjoy them more than me. I don't think I need to keep Poe Dameron in my collection here. So I'm currently trying to finish the 2nd volume tonight. I've been really dragging my feet recently. This week has been really busy with work. But my plan is to read the second thing today, and then hopefully finish the rest of the volumes over the next couple of days. There's 5 total, so but yeah, I read the first one, and the first volume is nice because it kind of talks about basically this whole storyline is bringing us up to the beginning of Force Awakens. So, the beginning of the very first issue, Poe's meeting with Leia to talk about, finding the map to find Luke Skywalker and seeking out, I forget what his name is. I think it's like Lors Ray something or something like that. The old guy that Poe meets at the beginning of Force Awakens on Jakku. So that's kind of like the whole plot line through this 30-plus issue run here for Poe Dameron. So it's a slow burn. We kind of know where it ends. So interesting how we're going to get there. But overall, it's pretty good. There's this one agent for the First Order that like Poe's kind of going up against. I forget I think it's like Jarek or something like that. And then we see like Phasma. We haven't seen Kylo Ren yet or Snoke, but they've been mentioned by name. Huxley, General Hux, he's also been mentioned by name. So interesting. Like I said, I'll read it, but I'm definitely probably not going to keep it. So as I read it, I just put it in my bin of stuff to sell. So it's kind of just like read and place it in there. Same thing goes for all these other smaller miniseries that I've been reading recently. Just stuff that I'm looking to read and then sell to the Second Charles. So go from there. But anyways, 17-minute intro aside, we'll go ahead and get into this haul here. So as I mentioned, I had these split up by 2 trips. So the first trip here was, I just got back from Brazil, and my friends went to this like local comic convention. I actually had an issue getting home because my flight got delayed, and so I had to spend the night in Atlanta airport. So fun times. For all those people who are dealing with the CrowdStrike stuff, I feel for you. Not to the same extent, but obviously still feel for you there. But yeah, so I got home like midday on Saturday, so I was able to meet up with him later to go to Second Charles in Harrisburg, and it was really nice. We got to shop there. We went to another comic shop. We had dinner at a hibachi place, which was amazing. And I also sang karaoke. I sang Renegade by Styx at a karaoke bar that was underneath the hibachi place. Who would have thought? So that was our day. It was very fun, and it was always great to see my friends from college. They're always very supportive, and I really like spending time with them. So there's that. But anyways, I'll show you here what I got. So first pile of books here is a series from Image that I've been looking to get, and reason why I bought this was the creator, the writer. I'm a big fan of Donny Cates. So the series here is Redneck. So don't know too much about this, but the art looks very interesting. So really excited to get this to read. There's only one more volume, I think, of this series. I don't know if it's still ongoing or if it's finished, but this is the second volume here. So this collects issues 7 through 12. The first one collected issues 1 through 6. And I think this also has something to do with vampires. So if you're into that, you're into like kind of like South like crime type of novel plus vampires, yeah, this might be the book for you. So there's that. This collects issues 13 through 18. I got these all for like half price, so not too bad there. Volume 4 here collects issues 19 through 24. So like I said, I think I only need to find one more volume here, and you know, we'll have the whole series. But like I said, just a nice Donny Cates series that I've been looking forward to reading. And I gotta say, these paperbacks, very nice. I love the consistency going on with like the covers here. So I think that's pretty neat. So we'll give that a read at some point. Oh, actually, there's one book in here that there's a couple books here that I didn't. This is the one book I didn't buy from my trip to Second Charles that day. This is actually a book that I bought on Books A Million because I recently renewed my annual membership with them. When I bought a book, I think I bought that Moon Knight Omnibus, that's right there. So they gave me a $10 coupon to use, and unfortunately I'm not really close to Books A Million here where I live, so I ordered something online because they offer free shipping. So decided to go ahead and buy The Enfield Gang Massacre by Chris Condon and Jacob Phillips, Sean Phillips' son. So yeah, this is a spin-off of That Texas Blood, if I'm not mistaken. And this is really cool because I think they did this maybe to save money, but also it just feels very kind of like old-fashioned. This paper is very thin. It's like kind of like almost like newspaper paper, I guess. But yeah, very much gonna enjoy reading this. I read That Texas Blood. I read a couple of issues of that and I jumped off the book. I think there's only 3 volumes of it, but I could be wrong. Maybe they're making more. I haven't seen anything come across on my solicits or my pages about it, so we'll see. But yeah, really cool to get this. I think I might just put this next to That Texas Blood just because they're both kind of linked together in that way. Just kind of saves me the issue of having to find it, I guess. But yeah, really excited to read this, and it's always good. Jacob Phillips, he's very much like his dad. Like, his art is just as good, if not better, maybe, than his dad. Yeah, very, very much looking forward to reading that. And obviously finishing up That Texas Blood as well. Next book I got here, I bought this from Comics Connection. So this was supposed to come out. I was kind of waiting for it to come out, and yeah, it was just taking a while to release. So I just saw it at a store, and it was cover price, but the cover price was still really decent. So I decided to grab that, and it is Strangers in Paradise Volume 4. So this is the last volume I needed for the entire series. I bought the first 3 on IST a couple months ago at this point, so really excited to have this series finally completed. I've heard so many good things about this. I listened to a podcast called Comic Geek Speak, and one of the co-hosts, Shane, I think his name is, he brags about this series all the time, and I'm just really excited to read this and get to experience it for the first time. So you can see here, thick paperback. This was cover price of $27, so honestly cheaper than an Epic collection for just about the same amount of material here, like almost 500 pages here. So yeah, kind of show you the inside of that. And this is drawn and written by Terry Moore, so if you're into that, Um, I have a lot of books in my collection that are written and drawn by the same person, so that's kind of cool. All right, next book I got here was a book I found at Second and Charles that I was looking for, and it kind of just showed up, and I'm like, oh, there you go, I need that. And that is Jeff Lemire's Trillium. So this is another book here by Jeff Lemire. This is, I don't know really much about what this book is about, but this is written and drawn by him. So I've definitely have enjoyed more the stuff that he's written and drawn himself, like Sweet Tooth, Essex County, Roughneck, Underwater Welder, so stuff like that. So very much looking forward to reading this. Royal City is another one too, so nice to get that for a decent price. Next book I got here was courtesy of my friend, whose name is also Dan. He kind of just found this on the shelf, recommended it to me, said he really liked it, and gave it to me, and I decided to buy it. And that is Four Kids Walk Into a Bank. Nice little graphic novel here. The art in here feels very much like David Aja, I want to say, from like the Hawkeye run, kind of like very much like that, like, you know, very small panels, a lot of good art, you know, going on here, like Hollingsworth coloring type of art or color here. Yeah, this looks very enjoyable. I'm looking forward to reading this for sure. This is definitely going to be bumped up on the list. You know, always like to have, you know, like kind of standalone graphic novels to read along with these long runs that I'm doing with characters. So there's that. And this other book I bought here, this last book I bought from the Second and Charles in Harrisburg, was a book that I was kind of looking at in like this random graphic novel section, and I saw it and I was like, huh, that's kind of cool. I definitely think this is a book that I'm probably gonna read once and probably sell, so for what it's worth. But the book here is The Twilight Man, Rod Serling and the Birth of Television. So I've recently been collecting a lot of these like these like graphic novels of like histories of people like Jack Kirby, Oppenheimer, Einstein, you know, kind of those last two were kind of off my kick of watching Oppenheimer, the movie. But yeah, growing up, my family used to always watch Twilight Zone for like 4th of July and the New Year's Eve marathons. So I think they did one on 4th of July. I could be wrong. But anyway, this is kind of like a nice graphic novel talking about his life and, you know, his time in the war and how that kind of affected his, you know, how it affected his storytelling when it came to the Twilight Zone. So, you know, very much interested in reading this and kind of seeing what this is all about. But, you know, this would be a nice little quick read. So, kind of found this on a whim. Again, wasn't really looking for it, but glad I found it. So there's that. Like I said, I'll probably read that once and probably sell it because I don't know if I'm inclined to read that again, you know, so we'll see. And then the next chunk of books here I found at the Second and Charles in Newark, Delaware, which is actually closer to, I'm sorry if you can hear my cat in the background. There's a Second and Charles in Newark, Delaware, which is like 40 minutes from our apartment, and it's nice because it's tax-free. So I went there to sell a shit ton of books. I actually sold all of my Attack on Titan collection back to them, which is good though. I got a decent amount of money back for that. And you know, I've already read it, so I just like, you know what, time to move on from it. But yeah, as I was looking through, didn't really find too much except for the entirety of Scalped. So this is Jason Aaron. It's a story about an Indian reservation, you know, crime, drug use, you know, action, violence, mystery. I've heard a lot of great things about this series. And I think recently, like up to a couple months ago, I think we got an announcement from Vertigo or DC, I guess, that they were making omnibus out of this. I think they were gonna make two or three, I think. But you know, I was looking at this, I did the math, all of these together were like $65. So for 10 volumes, $65, I think that was a really good deal. And I decided to just jump on it. I was able to use some of my credit from before, so I didn't really pay too much for this. But yeah, I won't go through all, I mean, I'll show some of the covers here, but you can see here's the first volume. So like I said, you know, this was a series that I really wanted to collect, and for a long time, I did always see like the thicker complete collection is like size books, and I just couldn't find all of them to finish the series. So once I saw all these smaller paperbacks, I decided to just opt for that. I have a lot of series that are collected like this, so it's not anything that bothers me really. So there's another one here. These actually feel a lot lighter when you hold them up individually here, but you can see here some of the covers. So this is the entire series. I think there's like 65 issues or something. So you're basically paying $1 an issue, I think. So yeah. And I gotta say too, throughout this whole run, very consistent team here. You know, you got Jason, Aaron, and RM Guerra, I want to say. I'm sorry if I butchered that name. But yeah, so there's that. Can't wait to put all that stuff in my collection. But yeah, that is my haul here for my comics. So 30 minutes later, we'll go ahead and get into the Lego section, and we'll close this video out soon. So stay tuned for Lego. All right, guys, welcome into the Lego section here. So as I mentioned, you know, with this time of year, a lot of newer sets are coming out here. So like midsummer to like the late summer into fall, we're kind of getting our last real push wave of sets. So with that, obviously there comes a lot of sales, and I've actually been very fortunate to find a lot of these sales. About 2 or 3 weeks ago at the time of this recording, like Walmart had an insane sale going on for like a day or two that I was kind of upset because I missed out on some of the nice sales, but they had a lot of stuff on sale for like 20% off, and like a lot of newer sets that had just come out like either very late last year or early this year. So definitely something to keep an eye on here as we get into the later half of this year. A lot of sets that are going to be going out for retirement, stuff like that, are probably going to be hitting that 20% off sale. So just something to keep an eye on if you're looking for something around that era there. But yeah, we'll start off with some of the smaller sets that I got. So these two sets I actually bought because I needed, I actually bought a plug for my travel to South America. I needed a universal plug from Walmart. So I ordered it like the day before I left. I know, super last minute, but in order to get it delivered to my house that day, I needed to also get like some other stuff to get like the minimum for free shipping. So I went ahead and just bought some more battle packs. So I bought one more of these and one more of this one here. So the 501st Clone Troopers battle pack, and then the 332nd Ahsoka's Clone Troopers battle pack. Yeah, both of these came out in 2023. I'm sure they're both going to be retiring here at the end of 2024 here. I mean, this one might go on a little bit longer than this one, but I'm almost certain this one will be going after this year. So, yeah, I've really been stockpiling these, you know, and it's interesting because recently Monica and I have been talking about moving into a bigger place and looking at townhomes to rent until we can probably find something to buy, and cheaper places here in Pennsylvania. And a lot of them have like unfinished basements. So my plan is, you know, with my sealed collection to kind of use that unfinished off basement to kind of store a lot of my stuff in like plastic bins, like sealed stuff that I plan to sell. I definitely think once we get more space, I definitely want to try like the resale market at some point, you know, try reselling some stuff and seeing how that goes. You know, be a nice little side business to have, you know, get some extra income. But but for right now, it's kind of like one of those things where it's like they have to kind of age like fine wine, right? You can't just sell a set that you just bought today for retail price, right? No one's going to buy that because they can buy it cheaper elsewhere. So I'm going to kind of wait, but um, yeah, really nice to have a bunch of those to kind of add in the collection here. Next one I bought here, I found this at Target for 20% off and decided to buy it because 20% off was a much better price for this compared to what it originally retailed for, and that was $27. And that is the 4 Plus Iron Man Hulkbuster versus Thanos. And the reason why I bought this, I was looking at this Iron Man figure and I can't remember if this was in any other set. I probably should have done some research before I bought this, but I'm almost certain that that Iron Man is exclusive or very limited in terms of its appearances in other sets. It has like the gold arms and kind of like the gold plates on the bottom, kind of looking like the old-fashioned armor in a lot of ways. So really interested in that armor. I don't think I've owned an armor like that in my collection here, so I'm always trying to collect every Iron Man armor I can get my hands on, so really nice to get this. And I'm pretty sure that Thanos minifigure is also recycled from the set before, so. But I mean, just thinking about it though, like, it's crazy that Lego was charging $27 for this. Like, look at this. This thing is so small. It's literally 66 pieces. Well, that's not a good omen. I mean, that's just an insane amount of money to spend. And there's not really a lot of big pieces going on. Like, the biggest pieces are the leg pieces here. So, like, what the hell, Lego? That's just price gouging to the max. All right, next set I bought here was one that came today, actually. And it's one that I was waiting for a sale for because it's really weird. Like, recently Lego has been releasing a lot of sets for like random prices. Like, I've seen like one of the Batmobiles, I think, released for like $47 or $46 or some shit. And this set released for like $38, and I'm like, why not just make it 35 or 40? Like, why 38? You know what I'm saying? It's just very weird, like precision-based pricing, which just rubs people the wrong way and also makes my head hurt because I have to think more about what 20% off of that is. But anyways, waited for it to go 20% off and picked it up, and that is Rocket's Warbird versus Ronin. So this is from the first Guardians movie, and we never did get this ship from that movie. We got the Milano, obviously, from that first movie, and obviously they're coming out with a kind of like a UCS style version of it here in the next coming weeks or so. But wanted to get this. I think this would go really well with the larger Benatar ship that I have here. So my plan is to hopefully get the Milano ship. I'll probably wait for a sale because it's pretty expensive. I think it's like I want to say it's like 160 or 170. But this one was really nice. Got this for like 30 bucks. Comes with Ronin. I don't have a Ronin minifigure, so it's really nice to have him. That Rocket minifigure I think is recycled from other sets. But the Warbird itself, very nice design. You know, it's kind of like a more miniaturized version of the Milano, right? It has kind of the same build, but it was only designed for one pilot, unlike the Milano, which was designed for a lot of people to be in it. But regardless, really like the color scheme. I like the little subtle changes in orange here on the top. You know, you have the brighter orange, then more of like, I think that looks like red. So that will be a fun build to have and put next to the Benatar. All right, some other sets I picked up here. I remember a while back here, I was buying like every single Mario set, and I actually ended up selling all of them back to somebody for like $200, I think, last year. But I've still saved some room in my budget for some of the direct-to-consumer sets, some of like the more adult building sets for Mario, and we recently just got an announcement for one, like the Super Mario World one. That one's really cool, so really excited for that. But this one I ended up picking up was the Piranha Plant. $60 for this originally was a little too high in my opinion, especially for 540 pieces. And it's not even just the piece count, it's more so just what you get here. It just feels very, like, not a lot for $60. So waited, and sure enough, got this for a price for 20% off, so 48. So that wasn't too bad. Beautiful set here, you know, using those curved pieces from last year's Bowser set, I want to say, is when those kind of first debuted, but really got the shaping of the piranha plant's lips and like teeth perfectly. Um, the pipe is perfect, you know, it looks exactly like what you would expect, right? So this will be a very fun build to have, and the piranha plant is very iconic in the Mario world, and I just can't wait to display that. Should be a lot of fun. All right, next set I got here, again, another set that I thought was pretty overpriced, and sure enough, waited, got it for 20% off, and that is the Droideka from the Phantom Menace. So this is a 25th anniversary for LEGO Star Wars, 25th anniversary for the Phantom Menace here. So you can actually see it from episode 1 there, but this is a, what do you want to call that? Kind of like a follow-up to the Technic one that we got way back in like the early 2000s. This one is brick built here, so it's not as functional as the other one was, but you know, I'm definitely intending to keep this displayed open. You know, I'm not going to fold it up like that, but really cool. You know, I really like when LEGO does things like this where it's not just a ship. You know, I feel like we get too many gray ships in Star Wars sets as it is, so it's really nice to get like a buildable character like this that's only like, it's pretty affordable at $55. I know we're getting C-3PO later this year, which I do want to get at some point, and I do plan to probably sell my R2-D2 because I'm probably going to downgrade to the smaller one just so I can get the two, like C-3PO and R2-D2 in scale together. So I'm gonna have to plan out how to do that. But yeah, so this is really cool to get this. Really looking forward to this build, and now that I've finally shown these in a haul video, I can actually build some of them. So really cool to get that for a decent price there. I got both of those. I got both of those actually on Amazon. So the same week that Walmart was having this insane sale, Amazon also had a sale going, so I got those two for 20% off on Amazon, and I think they're back to full price now. But all I can say is definitely wait until later this year. You'll definitely be able to get them for 20% off, because if they're already going on sale here in July, they're more than likely going to go back on sale in October and November. So just keep your eyes peeled for that. All right, this next set I bought here was strictly for investment. I didn't plan to build this, and some of the reason behind this, why I bought this, number one, it was 50% off, and with LEGO sets, it's very rare to see a set for 50% off, and usually when it is that cheap, usually it's a bad set. In this case, this is a grossly overpriced set, which we'll talk about here. But yeah, I bought this strictly for investment. I don't plan to open this. You know, hopefully one day, you know, these minifigures will go up in price and I can resell the set, you know, with the minifigures and make a good chunk of change here. But that set is the Hoopty, I want to say it's called. Yeah, the Hoopty here. So when this set was revealed, it was like an automatic no for me to buy, because it was sold, I want to say, for $90, which is insane. I mean, $90 for 420 pieces, blaze it, I think is very expensive. I mean, that's, you're talking almost, I think, 20 cents a piece, which is, I think, over 20 cents a piece, which is really insane. Really expensive. I don't know why they landed on that price. Like, this set really should have been like $60. I think 60 would have been like the absolute limit to push for this. I mean, comes with 3 minifigures, right? I mean, they're nice minifigures, I'm not gonna lie. Like Captain Marvel, Photon, Miss Marvel, they're all really nice figures. Do they really push like push this set to that $90 price point? No. I don't think those minifigures themselves are worth like an extra $30, right? I mean, it's just insane to me. Um, you know, and I hate to say it too, but this ship is really ugly too. I mean, it's a gray ship, doesn't really have a lot of shapes going on. I mean, it has the nice orange, like, you know, uh, sh- you know, uh, screen piece, but aside from that, it's just very ugly. I just don't really like this, and there's not really much going on the inside either. So, like I said, you're probably asking, why did you buy this then, Dan? Like I said, I'm definitely buying that to keep sealed and potentially sell to somebody who may be a huge Captain Marvel fan and might want to have that in their collection. You know, like I said, I don't plan to build that anytime soon. It's one of those sets where I think it's definitely, well, every set is, but that one especially, it's definitely worth more to keep it sealed than to open up and build it, because I really don't think those minifigures are worth much. I could probably look them up now and they're probably not worth more than 10 bucks each, 15 bucks each maybe. So there's that. And the last set that I bought here, this is the one I got from Walmart. And you know, when I was going through all these sales with Walmart, I had so many sets saved in my cart, and I realized how expensive my cart was getting that I was like, okay, I should probably just pick one set and just buy that one that I really want. And this was the one I really wanted just because it pairs up with another set that like they both attach together. And I definitely intend to buy this, or to build this and put this into a like acrylic display case, which I can definitely find one that will hold all this. But that set is the Lego 76261 Spider-Man Final Battle. So this is the final battle from No Way Home. And yeah, there's not much really else to say about this set. It nails it with the minifigure selection. You get all three Spider-Man. Sorry about that, my phone's almost dying, almost dead here. You get all three Spider-Men, you get Doctor Strange, you get MJ, Ned, Green Goblin, Electro, Doc Ock. And then, again, like I said before, this pairs very nicely with the Sandman set that also comes with, I think, Electro and the Lizard and another Spider-Man. I think the original, the Tom Holland Spider-Man. So these are going to be really fun sets to build and display together. And like I said, my plan is to build this and put a nice acrylics case around it to display it. So like I said, one day when Monica and I move to a bigger place, I can hopefully have space to display all this stuff and take a look at all of it in its entirety. So there's that. But yeah, this set's beautiful here. You know, just the amount of minifigures. The Statue of Liberty head is perfect. The base is really nice, so really fun. And all the little points where you can connect them and have them jumping around, I think is also awesome. So really nostalgic, and I'm so glad they finally made this set. I know it was a while. You know, we had to wait almost 2 years to get this set, so very fun to finally get that. So yeah, that is my Lego haul here for you guys. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the outro for this video. All right, guys, so thank you again so much for watching this haul video here. I hope you enjoyed it. And like I said, you know, plenty of sales here for Lego sets. So if you're looking to buy something now, definitely recommend taking a look these next couple of months here. But yeah, otherwise, guys, I hope you enjoyed this haul video. And until next time, I will see you on the flip side. Peace.